Welcome back to Janna's audiobooks. Let's begin with part 3, the levels of our understanding of and our belief in the law of karma.
Part 3, the levels of our understanding of and our belief in the law of karma. People in this world can be divided into 4 types according to their understandings of the law of karma. The Buddha is the one who has complete understanding of the law of karma, even a small detail. The law of karma is not easy to understand. It is not as simple as one good turn deserves another, or we reap what you have sowed. Actually, it is very complicated, and no one but the Buddha can understand its way. So the Buddha is the only one who thoroughly understands the law of karma. The second is saints. Saints can mostly understand the law of karma, but of course cannot fully understand it like the Buddha. To assess if someone in this world is a saint, we should base on how they understand the law of karma. It is not like someone who has psychic powers is a saint, and someone who preaches well is a saint, but really someone who has a profound understanding of the law of karma is a saint. The third is people who are good and believe in the law of karma. The fourth is people who are bad and don't believe in the law of karma. Temporarily, we divide people into 4 kinds, not based on their classes, not based on their money, and not based on their race, but based on their understanding of the law of karma. And in this article, we discuss only the last 2 types of people. They are those who believe in the law of karma and those who don't. Why do we say that those who have the belief in the law of karma are good? If we ask one of them, the law of karma has not been proved by science, so why do you have a belief in it? They would answer, I gave money to a sick person in need of medication, making him healthy again. He was the owner of a family, so when he was back to health, he had the ability to raise his whole family. Helping him recover from his illness is not just helping one person, but many people related. Thanks to this help, 30 years later, I achieved a good result that I have been successful in my business, helping me to become rich. We continue asking him, well, how do you know that your wealth today results from the help that you provided someone 30 years ago that made him recover from his illness? Science has not yet proved this presence of the law of karma, and the ordinary cannot realize it. Only saints can, and they tell us. If he is good and believe in the law of karma, he would answer. First, there are things that we are just told but have to believe in. For example, many people who have never been on a plane still believe that planes can fly, and men can build those planes, and many people have flown. Like us, we have never witnessed the scene when a spacecraft launched into orbit or landed on the moon, but we still believe in it because the whole world knew it and someone did it. Likewise, there are saints who use their spiritual powers and great wisdom to know that person who is wealthy now because 30 years ago he saved a family in distress. We believe in it because it is reasonable. It is like that we believe planes can fly because they base on the principle of reactive power and we think it's reasonable. We have correct theory and practice. Many people see and we believe. So we can say that it's possible for a saint who is able to know the retribution of a person after 30 years. This is the first reason that we believe many people are right, and many honest people see that. The law of cause and effect is an admitted axiom that does not need to be proved. Everything may be gradually discovered by science, but the law of cause and effect, that is, a person causing being suffering, will receive the corresponding retribution. This principle is a big challenge to science. The law of cause and effect is a postulate. In mathematics, a postulate is something to be believed true but cannot be proven. Likewise, in Buddhism, the day we can prove the law of cause and effect true is maybe far away, so now we should accept it as a postulate. It's lucky for Buddhists to accept this postulate since it is the truth of the universe, and it is lucky for scientists to accept the postulate of Euclid in mathematics, since based on them, science has set up the vast scientific system. If from the beginning we hadn't accepted Euclid's postulates, we wouldn't have a scientific system as today, and everything would have been unclear. Everything in science is logical and must be proven in theory and by experiment. For example, in theory, we say that 2 opposite angles created by 2 straight lines intersecting are equal. Then in reality, we must measure them and prove that they are truly equal. However, in science, to prove everything, we must base on what cannot be proven, which is Euclid's postulates. Buddhism is like that. It is a path founded on morality, humanity, reason, and logical coherence, where all teachings can be clearly demonstrated. However, all of these principles originate from one fundamental axiom that cannot be proven: the law of cause and effect. What is the law of cause and effect? It is we reap what we have sowed in the good and evil, but not the ordinary causes and effects. Because in the universe or in this world, there are many types of causalities, and in the easiest one of the causalities in agriculture, for example, sowing a mango, we will have a mango tree and mangoes. Causalities in physics, for example, boiling water to 100 degrees Celsius, water will boil. Lowering water temperature to 0 degrees, water will freeze. Causalities in health: when a virus attacks us, we will be sick. They are causalities in the physical world, in agriculture, and health. But the causalities that Buddhism says there are causalities of good and evil, which involve suffering and happiness of man. It means beings in the cosmos are governed by two feelings: suffering and happiness. For example, if we are hungry, we are suffering. If we are full, then we are happy. If we have no money, we are suffering. If we have money, we are happy. In this way, feelings of pain and joy dominate a person's entire life, shaping their emotions, motivations, and the constant desire to avoid suffering while seeking happiness. When we can cause suffering to sentient beings, we create negative karma. On the other hand, when we bring them joy and happiness, we accumulate blessings. This is the law of cause and effect regarding good and evil retribution, as taught by the Buddha.
In this chapter, we see that people are different not because of wealth, status, or background. The real difference is how deeply they understand and believe in the law of karma. Some understand it completely, some understand it partly, and some do not believe in it at all. But the Buddha taught that the law of cause and effect is a fundamental principle of the universe. Join us in the next episode as we look at the most basic foundation of this universal law.